It doesn't half seem like a long time ago that we were at the British Shooting Show and no one cared about Corona. And I saw this for the first time. And I thought, that's got a long barrel. And this is the M-Spec Invictus 3. It's quite nice. Have a look. So I don't think I've actually looked at Invictus 3 before, so it's a bit of a double whammy. Starting at the back, you have a Guerini rubber butt pad. Very nicely finished, they're all hand fitted to the stock, so you end up with a really good, luxurious, slightly higher end finish than other brands out there. The wood is a Guerini grade 3, they vary a lot. To be honest, I didn't really like this wood when I first looked at it, but the more I look at it, the more colour, the more depth, the more character it has, and actually it's a good reminder that wood doesn't have to be loud to be nice. It is a full pistol grip, right hand palm swell, nice deep cutout so you can really actually get a hold of it. Perhaps a little thick through the head there, but a good big heavyweight sporter. Laser checkered with fake drop point, but it still looks quite nice. You know, it's a good stylistic choice maybe. The wood metal fit is adequate, is plenty adequate. I suppose this is where we get onto the exciting bit, and that is the action. The Invictus 3 is a colour case hardened Invictus action. We've looked at the Invictus. It's a very clever thing. I think it was the largest locking and bearing surface of any gun on the market when it was built, and I think it might well still be. You have this Invictus block, you have locking lug on the bottom, you have interchangeable trunnions on the barrels, not actually in the action. It's a very smart design. Go and check out other Invictus video if you want to learn more about that. This action varies in the grade 3 in that it is colour case hardened with gold inlaid mythical creatures. Ooh. The case hardening as well is actually a really nice job. It looks authentic, although it might well not be. It looks a very good quality traditional colour case hardening. Quite deep, quite rich, blacked trigger guard with a Cantho scroll, and there's a Cantho scroll all around these mythical creatures. And being an Invictus 5, I believe this is pretty much entirely laser done. I take that back, there is some hand finishing done on here. The Invictus 1 isn't, but this one definitely has hand cuts just on some of the edges. It's a nice touch. It's noticeable, I suppose that's as much as you can say. Just adds another layer of depth that a laser engraver cannot do in just taking out the edges of some of these cuts just to make them slightly bigger, slightly more, I don't know, exciting. Exciting is a good word. Trigger is gold and adjustable, and as I said, safety is selector and it's manual. Top lever features a Cantho scroll. It's nice. I really like the top lever pattern. In fact, the Cantho's pattern on this gun, where it's colour case hardened, looks really good. I quite like it. Sees Guerini written on the side and Invictus 3 written on the base. Beaded edges. It's a good looking gun. Like, it really is a good looking gun. In fact, in the colour case hardening, it looks better than the silver, which is not always the case, because usually colour case hardening can hide a lot of flaws. This one actually, that sounded wrong. It enhances its beauty as opposed to hides its flaws. That's what I meant. Forend, black forend iron, push button release, laser checkered, rounded American style. It's a nice looking gun. But looks aside, this is the exciting bit. This is an M-Spec barrel. M-Spec means fixed choke in Guerini land. And this gun, the Invictus 3 M-Spec, is 34 inches with a little silver mid-bead, parallel 10mm, tapered 10 to 8mm top rib, a little aiming line down the middle, and a white dot on the front. I believe this will be fixed at full and 3/4. That is quite exciting. There's something much nicer about the Invictus than the standard Guerini or closing. It is quite a special. It's a nice thing. Is the 34 inch going to be disgustingly front heavy? The answer? No. No. It is absolutely bob on over the hinge pin. This gun handles, feels like an absolute beaut. And this is where something I've been saying for years comes into play and actually is a good example of it. This is a 30-inch barrel from a Summit. This is a multi-choked barrel. This barrel weighs in at 1,522 grams. This 34-inch barrel weighs in at 1,534 grams. That's 12 grams different. That's not a lot. In simple terms, that makes this 50 grams an inch, and this 45 grams an inch. What this gives you is the feeling of niceness. Sounds stupid, but spreading the weight of the barrels across the full length of a barrel ends up with something a little bit more rounded in the handling. This probably sounds stupid because technically, if you're a physics guy, you'll understand that it doesn't really matter. It's where the force of moments are in terms of weight in the barrel, that this could well, putting this weight here, act the same, but it doesn't. Weight placement and where you put the weight in a gun really does matter. And this one is case in point on that, a 34-inch gun that outperforms the 30-inch multi-choke version in terms of handling. It's just lovely. It's just lovely. This is how guns should feel. I really like it. The looks might not be for everyone. I'm really not a gold guy. I've probably said that in the past. I'd prefer this gun if it had a black trigger or a silver trigger. But the gold, when it comes to colour hardening, actually enhances and brings out some of the tones of the colour hardening. And I like that. I dig that. I really like that. It's a very pretty machine. Plus, I like it. Bore sizes. This is something that is quite exciting about M-Specs. Is an 18.6 on both barrels. It is, however, not steel proofed. That's the only sadness that they haven't put into this gun from the Fab Arms stable, which is the full choke steel technology. I know it's a multi-choke and the Fab Arms are not entirely the same. And I understand this gun was developed and brought out before the whole steel thing came out, but it is a sadness they don't do that. There is a little bit of an issue with the M-Specs in that to create that beautiful feel, the barrel walls are thin. So you cannot teague these. You can have the chokes taken out, but you cannot teague these. And even then you can't have the chokes taken out that much because the barrels are made quite so beautifully. Bottom line is, I don't shoot it until you can't. I don't know. That whole steel thing does sort of make guns like this a little bit annoying, that you're not going to be buying this for life, or you are, and then you're going to be having it taken out to quarter and quarter. Or you just order a different barrel set because it's an Invictus. And you keep your full and 3/4 choked gun for when you're putting tungsten through it at your high birds. And then you stick a 28-inch multi-choke steel-proofed Invictus barrel on there for all the rest of the work you're going to do. Because this is totally worth the ownership whilst you can. I like. One final point on this, and this is that it also has 70mm chambers. This gun is very much the higher pheasant and clay crunching machine. This is a proper 2020 gun. This could be one of the last guns of its era, and for that alone I would consider buying it. I think it's one of those guns we'll look back and go, oh, that was a good gun. Shame we can't really use it to great effect now, but I can just imagine using it for the next 3.5 years before steel becomes mandatory, and even after on clays, and loving every second. What a wicked machine. 34-inch M-Spec. Guys, take care.